I go above and beyond for all my clients, so blocked out any outside noise and I just pursued, and then that one client turned into 5. The 5 clients turned into 15.
Sophia Bailey is one of the most successful and respected names in the aesthetics industry. She has built a thriving business and become one of the most in-demand practitioners, but it hasn't always been an easy road.
And as a non-medic,
You were brave.
nearly stopped so many times.
Yeah. Sophia has faced heartbreak.
I literally walked in on him cheating on me. Yeah.
Now, she's not just about helping people feel confident in their looks, she is changing lives with her honest approach and strong mindset.
I'll sacrifice, I'll do anything it takes.
Sophia believes in working with each other and not against each other.
If you can't get on board with me, celebrate with me like I do for you, then in other words, go fuck yourself.
Join us behind the scenes in this exclusive podcast episode where she reveals everything. What are your top industry icks?
Okay, well,
Sophia Bailey. Sophia Bailey, welcome to the Beauty Growth Academy podcast.
thank you.
Been manifesting this.
Have you?
Not gonna lie. Yeah, bit of a fangirl moment. Yes, Sophia, I have had you on my watch list for such a long time, and yeah, eventually now you're here and I'm buzzing for it because you're very well known in the industry. You are a huge advocate of women supporting women.
Amen.
You do not gatekeep,
No, I
and
don't.
you say it how it is.
Absolutely.
Fucking what an absolute great mixture of ingredients for a good podcast episode.
Can I just do a disclaimer? I've just done a lip flip and it's just kicking in. And I've got turkey teeth, so if I'm spitting and losing my teeth, that's what it is.
Okay, so Sophie's dribbling. So
I'm
some
dribbling.
People, yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Just be fucking grateful she's here, all right? So some people will be watching this on YouTube. Some will be tuned in on Spotify. So yeah, mind your business if you see her dribbling. Okay.
Absolutely.
I would love to hear your backstory. So tell me about how you got into the beauty aesthetics industry.
I
And
mean,
when
how
was
long have
that?
we got though, first of all?
I put extra time aside for you today, so just take your time.
Okay, well, I'm from the spa girl era. So I'm 35. I left school and I went and did my beauty therapy.
Yep.
Like it was back in the day. Yeah, where it takes you like 6 months to learn how to do a pedicure and set up your trolley. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I did that for 2 years. And it was intense. It was really intense because you do obviously the theory side and the practical side. But the theory, it was all A and P. So at the end
so
of it, you
hard.
get your A level in it. Do you know what I mean? So anatomy, physiology, biology. You'd spend like 2 months like learning the muscles of the face and all of that sort of thing. But then I did the spa therapy level 4. So you do your like facial electrics, your body electrics. And then I did that and I went and became a head therapist in a brand new health spa that they opened up. And I loved it. But soon after I loved it, I fell out of love with it. I mean, there's only so many full body massages you can do in a day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, hard work as well.
Oh my God, such hard work. And it was relentless. And the spa I worked at was stunning, but it's a lot. Do you know what I mean? All day, every day. And then I'm from a very small town called Llangollen in North Wales, which always surprises people as well. Because I'm in my clinic in Chester, like, I thought you were a Scouser. And I'm like, no, babes. I'm like, I'm North Wales. They're like, you don't sound Welsh. I'm like, well, wait until I start speaking Welsh to you, then I'll sound
Yeah.
Welsh.
Do you live in Wales now?
Yes,
Oh,
I
you
live in
just have
Wrexham.
Yeah, okay. Oh my
Yeah.
God, my goddaughter lives in Wrexham.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's like 20 minutes from where I'm from in like Llangollen in really North Wales.
Yeah.
But yeah, I live in Wrexham. So another thing, when I'm in my clinic every day in Chester, people are like, you live all the way in Wales? I'm like, it's 10 minutes down the road, babes, because I'm right on the border.
Yeah.
So I'm obviously in Chester, which is in Cheshire. It's a lovely area. Back to that. So I knew that I wanted to do more. I knew that I wanted to travel. I knew that I wasn't just wanting to stay in one place. And so I did it and I became a Steiner. If you know about Steiners, they work on the cruise ships in the spa. There was an old saying, any Steiner girl listening to this, there used to be a saying that used to say, there's nothing finer than a Steiner. Basically, you're just slagging it on the cruise ships.
Get
Which
that
is
dick.
what I did. I mean, you know, those are my old slaggy days.
Love it.
Again, I say I don't gatekeep. If anything, I overshare.
Well, no, we're all in for an overshare.
But listen, I'm a woman's woman. It is what it is. No judgment. So I went and worked on the cruise ships. I did it for 4 years.
Love it.
Oh my God, it was the time of my life. I was single, I was young. The Steiner used to come into your college, your beauty college, and be like, you can go and you can save thousands of pounds. Fuck no, you're docked up in dry dock in Sydney. You're out partying with all the other Steiners designers. It's just so much fun, you know, you just have the time of your life. So I worked in the spa on there for a year, and that was so intense because even when you were in the spa, if you were in like, you'd dock in like Jamaica and you wouldn't be able to get off because it's like tax and duty free and all that sort of thing. So the spa would stay open and it'd be so frustrating. You'd be there like in New York looking at the skyline, massaging Fat Barry. Do you know what I mean? You think, oh my God.
Had its cons.
Oh yeah, so you'd make a lot of money, but you'd blow it all. Like you'd go on all the excursions and just party and da-da-da. And those were crazy days. Oh my God, if I could write a book about being a spa therapist on a cruise ship, and one day I will, like anonymously, because the stories I could tell.
Oh,
like,
really?
Oh my God, yeah. But it used to be just fun. And used to, you know what I mean? So anyway, I did that, and then I was with my ex-partner. And you know how they say some things in life happen for a reason? Oh my God, if I seen him now, I would thank him, because I was with him and I actually lived with him a little bit in Jamaica, and we were on different ships basically. And I was on a ship in Texas, he was in Australia. So you have to ask for a referral. So I referred to his ship. I literally walked in on him cheating on me. No. Yeah. So, I mean, if I seen him now, I'd thank him, because that led to the life I'm in now. Yeah. So I made that decision there and then, like, goodbye. And it was the end of my career on cruise ships. Like, I couldn't. So I moved back home. I worked in a local spa where I worked. And everyone, when I say spa, they think I mean the shop. Spa shop. Do you know what I mean? Like, no, it's a health spa. Yeah. So I was working there, and then I met my beautiful husband. We've been together 10 years. Wow. He hates it when I tell this story, but I met him on Plenty of Fish. Because back then, I sound old, but back then it wasn't Tinder or any of that.
It was Plenty. It was Puff, wasn't it? Plenty of Fish. Yeah.
So I met Phil on Plenty of Fish. He'll fucking kill me. I don't care. So met him, and the rest is history, as we say. So yeah, I then went into makeup, which I've always had a love for.
Okay.
And so I've always been a bigger girl. I'm representing the curvy girls. Like, I'm all for it. So I've always been a curvy girl from when I was like young. Like in my class, I was the biggest girl in my class, and I'd use comedy to hide it. Or I'd always paint the shit out of my face. Because the big girl compliment, oh, you've got such a gorgeous face. So I'd like hone in on that. Do you know what I mean? So that my face was like my fortune. Like, I'd always paint my face, always make an effort with my hair and makeup. And then I love makeup. If you say to me now, oh, you need this lip gloss, yeah, I'll buy it. Just send me the link.
Yep.
I'm like a fiend, like I'm a gannet for like anything like skincare, beauty, makeup. I'm obsessed. I went into makeup. I was actually really good at it. I won like Welsh makeup artist of the year for weddings. I was a wedding makeup artist. I did that. And at the time, like, I didn't drive. So at the time, my husband was playing professional rugby and I didn't drive, and we were living in Widnes, like at the most random place ever, but he was playing rugby for them. And when he wasn't working, he would pick me up, take me to a wedding, wait outside for me.
And they're early starts as well, aren't they?
Oh
usually,
my God,
well.
I'd be there like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and he'd be sat waiting outside for me in the car. And then, yes, I went into doing wedding makeup, and that was amazing. There were times, oh my God. So I'm getting on to how I started in aesthetics, because there were times, because obviously I was just living off Phil's wage, and then there were times we'd have to sell like DVDs to get money for fucking all bran and petrol. Do you know what I mean? So we lived in this flat in Widnes, and sometimes we'd literally, when I say like not a pot to piss in, do you know what I mean? Or we'd have to sell something so I could get stock from a makeup case, or do you know what I mean?
Robbing Peter to people.
Yes, absolutely. Or I'd go and do a wedding makeup, 200 quid. Yeah, I still need to find another like 700 quid to pay the rent. Do you know what I mean? Or because even though he had a good wage,
it wasn't enough.
He had kids to provide for, because Phil's got children from previous relationships. So, and then the rent, and then it was just a lot. It was a lot. And then I was like, I found out that I could do aesthetics as a non-medic. Yeah. So obviously I had my level 4 and I was in the beauty industry. Now, I originally trained at Cosmetic Couture. That was a place in Manchester.
Yeah, I remember.
With Maxine. I love Maxine. I mean, I think, you know, like, she's a powerhouse.
Oh, she says it how it is, yeah.
You don't fuck with Maxine.
You don't know.
In any way, shape, or form. She used to be called as Mad Max, like the boxer. Yeah. But me personally, I love Maxine. Yep. She's always been lovely to me. She sort of took me under her wing, showed me how it was done. And at the time, there was very few people who did aesthetics that were non-medic. Yep. I think there was like Faces by AKJ. Yep. I think Amy. There was Holly Spedding from Flawless. There was Antonia from Kiss. Yes. So I remember, for example, looking then like Antonia, for example, I was like, oh my God, she's got 10,000 followers. Like, oh my God, she does aesthetics. She's a number. Like, oh my God, like I can do it.
If she
You know
can,
what I mean?
yeah,
If
and
she
I
can do it. I
yeah.
can do it. Like, because I know I'm ethical. I know I'm caring. I know I'm compassionate. I know I'm hardworking. I love anything to do with aesthetics, beauty. It's like an obsession of mine. I know how to look after clients. I know I've got the aesthetic eye because I love anything that looks good, or I love symmetry and I'm obsessed with it. So I was like, why can't I do it? So I went and trained. And this was back then, so like nearly 10 years ago. Before you went there, you had to do all this pre-study.
Yep.
It cost something stupid. Like, well, it wasn't stupid, it was money well spent, but it cost something like in total like 12 grand
Yeah.
to do your advanced aesthetics then. I mean, now, hun, you can go and fucking train. Like, don't get me started. You can go and train. Like, Phil could go and train with his fucking dick fingers right now and be trained in 2 days.
Yeah, I know. 400 quid, 500 quid.
Wild.
Online, don't have to go in.
No, I've seen a course. It's like, you can get it for like 5,000, like 500 quid. And learn like 16 certificates. That's fine. And I'll get onto that. But anyway, so I trained. You weren't allowed to leave till you did like 40 sets of lips, 40 sets of Botox. Like, it was so intense. It was incredible. And the training I received from Maxine and her team like then was just incredible. The thing is with that though, these training houses now, they have no choice but they're all in competition with each other. I think, you know, they have to water down their training. Because otherwise, I mean, not many people would go and pay that now. Do you know what I mean? Because it's unheard of, because now it's a couple of grand, even 500 quid I've seen recently, and you can be trained in 2 days. So I think the quality of training is under some serious investigation. That's how I got into it. And I remember I did all this and I was like, right, okay, now what do I do?
And how old was you at this point?
I was, well, hang on, this is 10 years ago, maybe like I was like 24.
24, 25,
yeah.
okay.
Just
you really did join it quite a few years, because about 6 or 7 years ago is where we just started to come out the woodwork.
Yes.
You was in it years before, actually.
Oh, yeah, but it was like I was a witch, like a witch.
I bet you were fed to those lions.
Oh, my goodness me.
We'll
It's
get into
like,
that.
But yeah, so we'll get into that. But I was the first of its kind, and I literally did go to a tanning salon.
Yep.
I had a little room. And I thought, fuck it, I'm doing it. I'm not paid all this money, spent all this, do you know what I mean? And I just had Reggie, my firstborn. So I thought, we've got so much riding on this. And so that's how I started, basically.
Wow. So when you got to this like tanning salon and you've got your little room, how did you start to get clients?
Well, I already had some clients from obviously doing makeup. So they trusted me with their face. If your bride can trust you on their wedding day with your face, they'll trust you with their face indefinitely, I think. So, and I'm a people's person. I always keep it real. I hate all this bullshit, like people think they're better than anyone else. Like, I can't stand it. So a lot of my clients just started off, they were my makeup clients, and they'd organically just come to me because they trusted me. So that's how, and I started having a tanning salon. I mean, like the biggest, like, what's it called? You know, against one another, like having aesthetics in a tanning salon now.
Oh yeah,
do you know what
like
I mean?
polar opposites.
Polar opposites. Yeah. Even though I know some queens who own like tanning salons and they boss it with their aesthetics, not meaning that, but
at that time,
at that time, Anna's a non-medic.
Yeah,
coming out.
You were brave.
Me.
You was brave.
I nearly stopped so many times before I started.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I was
so
going to go
many
into like what were some of the challenges that you faced in the early days?
Obviously, having no clientele in terms of aesthetic clientele. You know, there were quite a few people that tried to stop me before I started, but, you know, that's by the by. That's a long time ago. I worked through it. I focused on myself. I blocked out the outside noise. And I thought, no, what I'm doing is legal. Yeah. I'm legally allowed to do this. I am ethical. I am safe. I know how to deal with an occlusion single-handedly if that happened to me, if I was in a room on my own. I go above and beyond for all my clients. So why can't I do this? So like I said, I blocked out any outside noise and I just pursued, and then that one client turned into 5. Yeah. The 5 clients turned into 15. And then what I realised was, okay, well, I'm not just going to confine myself to Wrexham, even though I built up a really amazing clientele there, and that's where it all started. And I'll forever be grateful for that. And I think, and I was one of the only practitioners there, especially non-medics. I think I was probably the first maybe non-medic in that
You probably
area.
stood out more for being the first non-medic. 'Cause
Absolutely.
people would have been talking about it, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
And in
yeah.
some way that would have been benefiting you
Well,
as
they
well.
say no bad news. What is that saying?
No bad press is good press or something like that. Yeah.
So that's how that started. And then my friend Danielle from Doll Beauty. Do you know Doll?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Doll Beauty.
Everyone knows Doll Beauty.
Can you have a word with her and ask her to come on the pod? Thanks.
Oh, no, I will. I'll try and get her and Sam in because they're just fucking
That'd be
incredible.
amazing.
So I remember Dan and Sam actually came to me in this tanning salon, and Dan at the time was just doing makeup, and her and Sam came in and they were like, Danny, she came in with her old fake Louis V on her shoe strap, opened it up, and she was like, so if I did her lips, she's like, here you go. She goes, take these lashes. They weren't even in a branded box.
Yeah.
She's like, me and Sam were going to start doing lashes. And so I was like, yeah, fab, okay, amazing. And I used these lashes that are amazing. And then lo and behold, what it's come to now. And that's a true story. That's how Danny started, Danny and Sam. Do you know what I mean? To where they are now. And she never changes. Still when I see her now, but now it's a real Louis Vuitton bag. Actually, probably not. No, Danny's most down-to-earth person ever.
She's got Prinny's closet and she's like, that's fake, that's fake, that's real.
But so, and then Danny was like, oh, I'll get so-and-so to come to you. And then even like my brides that came to me, like, oh, well, I'll get so-and-so to come to you. And it's organic, it just happens. And that, it's word of mouth. And when they're receiving, high quality treatments with licensed products and they're in the hands of somebody that can look after them and who cares about them and it's genuine and it's not fake, then it just progressed from there. And then another big, massive game changer, I started then going around the country doing aesthetics. So,
So people were requesting you then at this point because, and obviously as well at this point, you're talking about this on social media. Mm-hmm. Is social media important to you at this point? Are you putting yourself out there?
Yeah, it was important, but once it was like a makeup page and they started doing aesthetics. And I had to make the decision, like I had all these brides booked in, I had to cancel them all because I'm like, for me, I can't water one thing fully with my hands still being in the other. And another thing, this is my opinion on this, but I feel like if I want to be taken serious as an aesthetics practitioner, I personally, might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't think that goes hand in hand with makeup.
Okay, yeah.
In my opinion, I think you should be one or the other. And especially, in the realm of what we're injecting people's faces with acid at the end of the day, with hyaluronic acid. I think if I wanted to be taken seriously, I wanted that to be my one and
your
only
exclusivity
trade.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, like
you put all your time into it.
Yeah, all my training, all my effort. I've been on so many training courses. I've done so many first aid courses. I'm now doing my level 7, which we'll get onto that. It takes a lot of work. So for me, I felt if I wanted to be taken more serious, I can't be doing makeup on a Saturday morning alongside of it. Like this needs to be my one and only, which I've poured my heart and soul
and
into.
Money.
And money. Yeah, and all of that. So, yeah, but that's how it started. And then I'll never forget, a lot of people might know her name's Chloe Elizabeth on Instagram.
Okay,
she's from Newcastle. She's a babe. She's lovely. She messaged me, and at the time, it was like a lot of followers. She had like 40,000 followers. Like now she's got crazy amount. And she messaged me and she's like, hi Sophia, oh my God, I've seen you work on Instagram. I'd love you to come and do my lips. And I spoke to Phil about it at the time. I was like, oh my God, she's like 4.5 hours away.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to do it for free because that's what you did then. So
yeah,
you do like
a bit
influencers. Yeah. And Phil was like, no, he's like, I think you're mad. Like, go for it. Your gut's always right. So I drove like 4 hours all to Newcastle, did her. And then I came home. By the time I'd got home, I'd like 3,000 new followers. And I was like, what the fuck's happened? She tagged me in a story. And then people were like, when you come to Newcastle, when you come to Newcastle. And then Chloe Elizabeth was really good friends with another girl called Chloe. So I went up to Chloe's house and Chloe had this little, like, her dad owned a farmhouse. And on the grounds of this farmhouse, she'd made a gorgeous little clinic for herself. And I knew it was licensed because you could use it because it was wipe clean, it had a sink, it had all the, things that you had to tick off as a list in order to do injectables there. So I went to Chloe's and I would be there 2 days up in Newcastle, literally on a farm. It just shows it's not where you are.
Yes, I agree.
On a farm, like people turn up, like going for a dirt track. Am I going to the right place? Like Chloe will vouch for me. She knows that she'd be heaving. Like she had all her clients there. She used to do SPMU there and all that. And I would see 40 clients a day. Wow. All having aesthetics. And I used to do a filler package there called the Geordie Jaw. Not Geordie Shore.
I love that.
Yeah, and so I used to go up there and do all the Geordie girls, Newcastle girls, and I love them so much. They're just gorgeous. They're just a vibe. And then I had a clinic in Birmingham. So at one point I was in 12 locations across the country, but then I was pregnant on my second, and then I've got a baby at home. Do you know what I mean? So At this point, I was pregnant with Ezra and it was exhausting. Anyway, had Ezra, still kept it up, still travelling around the country. I think that my most, I was like 14 locations. So one day I'd be in Birmingham, come home. One day I'd be in Newcastle. One day I'd be in Manchester. One day I'd be in Liverpool. So it was a lot. And then it took too much. And then we're going into my third pregnancy. Christ, how many fingers have you got? I was on my third pregnancy with my little girl, Cece, and I made the leap of getting my own clinic. So found the place in Chester City Centre. It's lovely. And opened it all up. It was so exciting. And then a client came in and she goes, oh, Sophia, there's this woman in Chester Hospital. She's got that COVID thing, that coronavirus that's all on the news. I was like, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like, nobody knew what it was. We're open 10 days and then
Oh no,
we went into
10
lockdown.
days.
We went into lockdown. So yeah, that was fun. But I had the best lockdown ever because
I loved lockdown.
I loved it personally because it was just, I had a brand new baby in lockdown.
And you could see your kids because this
With
is
the
the thing,
kids,
like
yeah.
you was doing all of these things whilst being a mum to two, and then you said,
Yeah.
CC came along kind of, that was it around the point of lockdown?
Well, it was in lockdown.
Yeah, of course
you
it
had
will
to
have
wait
been.
till you were 4 centimetres till he was allowed in. I was like, I'll give birth outside them front doors as long as my husband's coming in.
Oh,
I
bless.
know, yeah.
What's your thoughts on like having a work-life balance? Do you think it exists?
Yeah, I think it exists. Now, I hate it when people give me unsolicited advice. I'll take solicited advice. Now, what I mean by that is if you give me advice, you've lived it, you've breathed it.
Yeah.
You've probably been on your arse end with like all bran
Oh,
for
God,
dinner.
yeah.
With
Oh, God,
nothing.
yeah.
I've been there with stitches, in my vagina,
Really?
injecting somebody the next
Really?
day.
Wow, girl.
Yeah. So I've been there, I've done it. I've had to sacrifice some things.
Yeah.
Now, there's certain non-negotiables for me. Non-negotiables are weekends.
Yeah.
I don't work weekends now.
But you had to
I
early
had
on.
to. Of course I did. There are non-negotiables. Like now, I'm there for every morning, every breakfast, every school run. A non-negotiable is like I've got time to have a coffee and then I'm in clinic. Do you know what I mean? Non-negotiable is bath time, bedtime. I do one late night a week. Coming up to Christmas, I'll do 2.
Yep.
I could not do the job I do unless it was for my husband and for my mum. And then I have select friends that can help and will help. But no, it's like my husband's self-employed. He's retired from rugby now. He's a gas engineer, but he can do a lot of that from home.
Yeah.
He has people that he can micromanage, so he can do that from home. And it's like organised chaos.
Yes.
It's organised chaos. But I'd like to say, well, I can say I'm very present as a mum.
Yeah.
And that's like important for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But
I'm
you
there
had
for
to
every
make
bedtime.
sacrifices
Oh my
in the
God,
early
yeah.
days, which we've all had to
Yeah.
do. I remember my daughter saying to me, I mean, she was only like 4 or 5 having a tantrum, and she was like, you love, no, was she about 6, 7? Anyway, you love your business more than you love me. And I was like,
Yeah.
but then I thought, I can see why you think that. But then
Yeah.
now, I mean, she's grateful that I did what I did when I had to do what I had to do in the early days, which was jeopardise that time seeing her as much, because now she's got a fucking great lifestyle.
Oh my God,
so it's
mum
like,
guilt.
I
Like,
know.
I'm guilty when I'm at work because I think, oh my God, like it's Halloween. I think, right, I need to plan all these things. And sometimes I overcompensate. Do you know what I mean? And then I think, well, if I'm at work, I feel guilty. And if I'm at home, I think, oh, I could have earned money today in
Yeah.
clinic. Christmas is coming. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But my mum is just incredible. Also, my mother-in-law, she lives far away. She lives in Huddersfield. And when she can come down, she comes down and she does what she can. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's amazing.
Yeah.
If we've got something on. So we've got a very close, but that old saying, it takes a village to raise a family.
Yeah,
and
that's
and I think my marriage as well, it's give and take. A lot of it is give and take, like for him and for me, and we both support each other massively.
Yeah.
But it's a lot. I do think there is such thing as a happy work balance. But Reggie, what you just said, Reggie came up to me once. He was only little, and he was like, "No, mummy, no, get off your phone, mummy." And I was like, oh my God. And that was the time then I paid a friend. It was Annabelle. She's like my skin therapist now. She's like my ride or die. She was a client at first, and then she was like, oh, I remember how it organically happened. I paid her cash in hand to do like my phone, and then because I needed a PA because I got that busy where I was doing my own messages, she took over that, and then that stemmed on from there. But at that time, so I think, and then you organically just grow and get bigger, but more responsibility, etc., etc. But I have definitely now got a lovely, healthy work-life balance, but I've had to sacrifice. So for those who are finding it really hard at the minute. It does get easier, but you need to prioritize. And if you can't handle it, even if it's paying a friend to do your messages, if you don't want to commit to a booking system, but a booking system for me, I couldn't live without one. But if you're not quite at that level where you need when you're still an old school paper diary, then, you know, pay somebody to do that for you. If you can allocate, do you know what I mean? Not allocating time.
Yeah.
And that's what I'd recommend doing.
Yeah. So in the early days, like you say, you had to sacrifice. Now you've got more boundaries. So like you say, you won't work weekends now, but you've done your fair share of weekends
I've done
over
my
the
fair
years.
share of weekends.
You'll only do one evening a week now, but I'm
Yeah.
sure you've done your fair share of evenings. So I think for
If
people,
one client asked for one lip treatment at 3 o'clock in the day, I would go in and do that client.
Yeah.
I'd drop everything and go and do that client.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But you wouldn't do 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon now.
Well, you see, this is another thing. I think it's easy, and I can talk to fellow practitioners or business women like this, so it's very easy. There was a time I would forget the value. Basically, I think I lost my feet a bit sometimes. Phil always reminds, keep them fucking feet on the ground, love, because the people you meet on the way up, you'll meet them on the way back down. Don't get, you know, not that I'm a big-headed person, but I can see how it is easy to forget. So what I mean by that is you could have a break of 2 hours, like, you know, we're doing fully booked clinic, have a 2-hour break. There'd be one client in, like, for a review, for a rhino review. It's easy to go, oh, just move her. No. That woman has paid her hard-earned money to come and see you for a treatment.
Yeah.
No, like, I will stay for that 2 hours. I will make sure, like, my clients are gold.
Yeah.
Like, my clients are my priority. Like, I will go above and beyond. And also for my fellow practitioners, if they've booked in for a masterclass, like, that's another thing that's really hard to do because you need the models for masterclasses. And, like, it's so, like, if you've got no models, I would rather cancel my fellow practitioner who's paid a fortune to come and see me. She's took time off work. She's organised childcare. I would rather rearrange and make sure I've got that, so you've got that quality training.
Of course, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that's a whole other story.
Yeah, it swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you think has contributed to you having clients, other than word of mouth? Like, do you think social media's played a part in it? Do you think your own, like, the amount of time you've spent getting better at treatments, what do you think has contributed to your successful client base?
Oh, 1,000%. Just being yourself and social media, 100%. Social media, in ways or means, it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've paid ads and whatever, but social media is free. Now, without my loyal client base, it's simple things that we even forget to do now. So I've been doing this like nearly 10 years. Even now when a client's leaving, I'm like, oh, don't forget to tag me on social media. I mean, even if no one will ever turn around to me and go, no, they'll still always say they'll tag me.
Yeah,
and
even if they don't.
Yeah, even if they don't, 7 out of the 10 do.
Yeah.
And then if I do a day doing that in clinic where I remember to do it, like, oh, tag us, babes, or when you're next on your night out, give us a tag. They will. And then off the back of that, even if it's 10 clients that they get 10 more followers that follow you, they do. Or even if it's 1, every single follower counts. Do you know what I mean? But definitely, I think just being myself, being authentic, not being fake. People see through that. I see through that. Being genuine, being ethical, showing that you're compassionate, showing that you're caring. So even though I've trained, and this is what I was saying, okay, let's say you get somebody who goes and trains at one of them training houses for like 500 quid, medic or non-medic. I've had medics come to masterclasses with me. I've trained surgeons, but they've come to me and they've said, oh, Sophia, the original training I received. I've had like mental health nurses come to me and they go, oh, I just signed up. I went to a place on Harley Street. It was 500 quid. Went there as a conference room full of 30 people. You watched a man inject a dummy, not even a real person, and then they're leaving. They're fully qualified in advanced facial aesthetics. How is that safe?
Yeah.
And on the non-medic side, it's terrifying when I say that my husband could go and train tomorrow with not even a beauty qualification and go and train on human beings in advanced aesthetics like temple filler, phlebotomy, PRP. He can go home and he could inject the public.
Yeah.
Terrifying. And I agree that something needs to change. So I take it upon myself to do better. So I've trained with the most fabulous injectors. They did those training courses and then they've realised and they've thought, oh my God, no, I'm not confident here. And they've spent so much time and money to further their education. Like, they've spent thousands and thousands, and they are so educated on complications, on first aid, on everything, on all aspects, on advanced training, on advanced fillers. So I admire and respect those medics and non-medics that do that moving forward.
And so they should.
Yeah,
In my
absolutely.
opinion, I don't think this industry, especially the aesthetics industry, is one to go into lightly because of the things that can go wrong. And I don't know your opinion on this, but one thing I see happen, and it's really sad when I see it, is some of the training companies are going, come and qualify in aesthetics and you can earn your first 10k months.
Don't even get no.
I'm like, well, so people are joining the industry for the wrong reason as well. Like,
I think it's glamorized.
yeah, it's not glamorous.
I think a lot of these practitioners, you know, are wanting to come into it. It's that's why I always try and just keep it real.
Yeah,
like with
yeah.
aesthetics. And me to this day, one week I'm like, Phil, we're shopping at Aldi this weekend, or I can't afford to get the kids new school shoes this week.
Yeah.
Like we need to draw back a bit. Like I'm watching my pennies.
Yep.
Pennies make pounds. Oh, fucking next week, let's go Burj Al Arab Dubai. Let's go, babes. Do you know what I mean? Let's go.
Swings
New
and
car,
roundabouts.
fantastic. Next week, I'm eating pot noodle. Do you know what I mean? Beans on toast, soup in a basket. It's not happening. Do you know what I mean? So, but I will always tell people that I don't have an ego. I'm down to earth. I've come from nothing. I had a lovely childhood, but we weren't given anything. Do you know what I mean? Me and Phil have worked for everything we've had. So I think, you know, there's this champagne Dubai lifestyle. Let's keep it real for a minute, Like, I'll always keep it real with my followers. Like, don't be fooled by that. Like, that's not the reality. My overheads, I'm in Chester City Centre.
Of course.
Just the rent alone, like, I'll talk openly, just the rent on my clinic, that's £2,500 a month.
Yeah,
That's just the
that's
rent.
just rent.
That's the
Yeah,
rent.
yeah.
Let's not go into staff wages, stock.
Yeah.
Because I buy from licensed pharmacies, the stock. And that's another thing, like, you see people offering Botox for 50 quid an area, 50 quid for 3 areas.
How?
Well, your prescription.
Yeah, that's
and then
normally
you're
30
buying
quid.
a box of Basilor.
At the most, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of
and then the
course.
time and the skill and da-da-da-da-da. So, yeah, I don't even remember what the question
No,
was.
me neither, but I like going off-piste as well. I think it's important. I think what I'm kind of saying is a lot of people make the decisions to join the aesthetics industry,
Yes.
some for the right reason, some for the wrong
Yeah.
reason. And this is something I've seen happen, and I'm sure you would have seen this as well. They see this, I can earn 20k months. Yeah, you can. Okay, you can do that. And yeah, it can be profitable.
Yes, it can.
But also it's very challenging. Then they think, okay, I'm going to earn this money. They come into the industry, they do their first client, and they panic attack. All that night, they go home. What
my
if
God,
what if
she's
she's had an
messaged me.
occlusion? She's going to message me. What if she goes blind? Or 3 days later, they get a message saying, oh, I've got a bump in my lip. And they're like, oh my God, what have I done? And the anxiety. So because they're personally, they're not confident enough, because their training's not been great, or they're just not that type of person that can deal with them situations. Because I think you've got to have a bit of
a big set of bollocks.
you have,
babes.
haven't you? You have to be able to think, this could potentially go very wrong.
Yes.
But I'm confident in myself to do the best I can do.
Yes.
But this could also go wrong, and I might not be able to fix it back to normal. And you've got to, do you know what I mean? As in, like,
Yes.
somebody might have something go wrong and go to hospital, not even tell you. 3 days later, they're like, oh, just so you know, I was in hospital and this is because of this treatment. And you didn't even get the chance to help them. Now, for some people, they would crumble. They'd be like, oh my God, what's happened? Whereas if you've got a bit of a thick skin, you go, well, you didn't tell me. What do you want me to do if you don't tell me? Do you see what I'm saying? So I think that there is certain personalities that really don't work in the aesthetics industry.
Yeah.
The ones who are extremely anxious. So I used to have a medic work in my salon, and she did so much training. She was constantly on courses. If anything, too much. She was in forums for, you know, when things go
I
wrong,
don't
complication
go near them.
forums. And she was obsessed, and she would like literally go home, cry, even though nothing had gone wrong, crying. And I was like, babe, are you in the right job?
Yeah,
because
it's a lot.
you have done so much, like years you've been doing this now. She was scared of losing a pin. She was scared of somebody dying, someone going
Yeah.
blind. And then eventually she stopped.
Yeah. I think, you know, like, so for me, in terms of that, like, I've had, oh my God, probably noses are like what I'm most
Yeah.
popular at the moment. And in the past 10 years, I've had 4 occlusions. Now, any practitioner on this earth that claims they're perfect, they're lying. So I've had 4 occlusions, but I know how to handle them. But even though I know how to handle them, I will phone 2, 3, 4, 5 people
Yeah.
just to get a second, third, fourth, fifth opinion. And I think the question is, if you're in a room on your own and you had an occlusion present to you, can you deal with it? Let's say you had no phone signal, it was just you and your client. Can you single-handedly deal with that? Or if they went into anaphylaxis, would you know what to do? So if the answer is no, okay, that's fine. make sure you know.
Yeah.
Learn how to know.
Go do some training.
Go pay so you learn how to know how to do that. I mean, I've had one terrible thing happen with a client, and it was that terrible. I literally went to counselling over it. So even though I'm a hard-headed person, I'm ethical, I'm an empath, I'm a worrier. Now, at the time, my mum was going through breast cancer at the time I was pregnant. This thing that happened with a client was that horrendous. It was horrendous for her, but it was horrendous, obviously. I felt responsible. Now, it was not my fault what happened, as it was a product issue. I miscarried at the time with all the stress.
Goodness me.
So, I mean, that, like, it did stop me for a while, and it really affected my confidence. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. God forbid, you know, and the client, what she went through. And that's a story for another day, what's happened with that. But it takes a hard-headed person, but it takes a sensitive person, because I care. If anything, you can care too much, if that's a thing.
No, I agree. It's a good thing, but it's also
a good thing. But it's not, you know, and I think back on that, people do see it, and they see these academies saying, oh, you know, 1 client a day equals £100.
Yeah.
5 clients a day is £500. 3 days a week, £1,500 a week. That's your, what is that, £6,000 month. Whoa. Stock, insurance, sharps, rent, staff, booking systems. Like, we're on about overhead. So I think, you know, it's achievable. But I just listened to one of your podcasts, and you said you can't water one side of the garden. You know that one where you're on about...
the grass isn't greener on... focus on their grass won't make yours greener.
Everything as a whole. And you said it also takes... You have to practice that again and again and again and again. It could take a month. It could take a year. Do you know what I mean? So I think don't give up and keep going with it, but word of mouth massively, and making sure that you are so highly trained in your area of your expertise and what you do. Like, you cannot know enough. Every day is a learning day. Every single client I've ever had is completely different to the other one. Not one client is the same, and every client is a learning curve. But showing that you're caring, showing that you go above and beyond, and that's just leading me on to the level 7 thing. I think there's a lot of it is scaremongering, I feel. I know that in Scotland regulations have changed, and I think going forward it's an incredible thing to have. I think you should be level 7 trained, because at the minute I'm level 5. I've just done my level 5. Now, if I can do it with 4 kids, you can do it.
Anybody
I promise.
can do it. And I think as well, if you're kind of like, oh, I've got to do this and do that, and you don't want to do it good because it shows you're not passionate enough.
No.
You've got to be passionate to be in the aesthetics industry, because it can be a dark place to be. It's not all rainbows and mills of fillers and happy clients. Like, there's definitely downsides to the industry, the sleepless nights, the occlusion. These things happen, but I think that when people see these, them tiered things, 3 clients a day is what, 500 quid, and I can do £8,000 a month. What they're not thinking is, you need to apply so much passion and time to get to that.
And a lot of these people doing that are either still working in the NHS, working their asses off in the NHS, and they see their fellow nurses doing it. But there comes a time, any nurses I've trained with, they'll say, oh, it's at time now, I've had to go part-time, and now they're just ready to take that leap.
Oh, I've helped hundreds of them. Hundreds of them go from...
If there's any listed, go to Alicia, she'll help you.
Oh, yeah. Literally.
Or there's them ones who are employed... They're doing their beauty and their nails, and they want to take that leap fully, but it's a big leap to take.
It is a big leap. And I think as well with the aesthetics, and you'll obviously know this, it's not like lashes. Your clients don't come every 3 weeks. It's not like brows. They don't come back for them 3 to 4 weekly treatments.
That's your bread and butter.
Yeah, you've got to build up a client base of people who are going to come consistently for every 3 months, or lips maybe every 6 to 12 months. And you have to build up a bigger client base. It's worth it, and it is more profitable than lashes and stuff. You know, we can't deny that. But it's not easy.
Yeah, I mean, these lash girls are fucking killing it. These nail girls. And you think what you make on the hour compared to minimum wage, these fucking boss bitches. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's a lot. And like building up your clientele and stuff like that. Like exactly like you've said, some of your clients, hopefully, they're getting like a year out their liquid rhinoplasty. And you get some clients who just come for their nose. That's it. You get some girls who just... And then you get your quiet clients, I call them, where they don't tell anyone what they've had done. So they don't even promote
They won't tell anyone.
No. We get the gatekeepers. That's fine.
That's fine.
The gatekeepers.
They're all natural.
You're lying, babes. But it's fine.
Your forehead isn't moving, but okay.
Definitely. But I think it's, word of mouth is a huge thing. And just being nice to your clients, treating them nice. Do you know what I mean? Giving them little rewards, or, when I get my regulars, I'm like, oh, just take tenner off at reception, or, whatever.
Little treats like that. They make
doing your Black Fridays, going for it, decorating the clinic, offering a cup of tea when they come in. Do you know what I mean? Because your clients, you go through births, deaths, miscarriages, marriages. You go through so much with your clients, health issues, and being there for them. I'm a counsellor every single day. And like my clients are like, I tell them everything, my clients, do you know what I mean? And having that relationship with them. So I think that's important too.
It works. You have got a saying, Sophia, and that is collaboration over competition.
Yes.
What does this mean, and where does that come from?
So I think it's more relevant now more than ever. I feel the whole medic, non-medic thing, without me even giving it like too much light, because I think it's all about collaboration over competition. And what that exactly means is, I have my clients. Now, I do what I do. I'm a mum before I'm anything. I'm a wife, and then I'm a businesswoman. So I have so many different hats. Now, if you can't get on board with me, if you can't be happy for me, if you can't celebrate with me like I do for you wholeheartedly, then in other words, go fuck yourself. Now, I want you to do well.
Yes.
Whether you are next door, whether you used to work for me and now are on your own with your own clinic, hand on my heart, I love that for you. I want you to do well. I want you to feed your family, go on holiday. I want you to live your best life, because I am so into manifestation. I am a power signal. What I give out, I get it back. Now, if I want to be a miserable CUNT, if I want to think of all these clients as mine, oh my God, that was my client. Clients go where they want to go, number one. That is no representation of me. I would never, even if clients go somewhere else and they come back to me, fine, I'm not going to be arsey with my client because they've gone somewhere else. It's their face. They do what they want. Do you know what I mean? Any client that's aligned for me will come to me. So all this competition shit, I've got no time for it at all. And that's the be all and the end all. I will never understand that mentality why people choose to be funny with you, or people listen. If I believed everything I'd ever heard that was said about me before now, I went on a forum once, heard my name, heard the biggest load of shit underneath it. Oh, and another thing once I heard, this girl said, I heard you closed the roads for your wedding. You what? Close the roads for my wedding? I fucking wish Princess Diana over here. I don't think so. I might be the new Princess of Wales, Christ. The stuff I hear about myself, like, no. Are you mad? Like, and on these forums, like, I've heard stuff about me, it's so untrue. Or, like, I've lost friendships. Like, I've lost friendships in this, like, fellow practitioners who I was really, really close with. Next thing, I'm blocked on Instagram. And I'll go to, like, reach out to them and blocked, can't find them, even Phil's blocked. Like, I'm like, what? Like,
you just don't get it.
I don't get it. And then they'll do reels about me, like, oh, and so said that. I've never once said a word about you. I don't understand that mentality. And if you've got a problem with me, talk to me.
Yeah.
Ask me. Do you know what I mean? But no, I wish everybody well. And like I said, like, I don't understand that mentality where people don't wish it for you. I don't get it. I don't understand.
Do you think it might come from a place of some people have that mindset? And I used to have this, right? So I'm not going to pretend I didn't. But in the early days, I used to think, early days, like, oh, there's not enough clients for us all, so I need that client, I need that client. So it was more of a place of fear, whereas for you, have you always felt this way?
I've always felt that way.
You've always been dead open and just...
Oh my God.
Because you can tell for you, Sophia, like, you are a girl's girl, you're a cheerleader.
Yes.
It's genuine. You genuinely want to see people succeed, no matter what it is. And I feel like some people struggle with that, and I wonder why.
I think that's a them problem.
Yeah, it's
an insecure. Yeah,
it's an insecurity thing.
I just think, I'm 35 years old. Like, I've got no time for it. But even when I was younger, like, I've always been a hype girl.
Yeah, okay.
I don't get it.
So you've always just been a hype.
Yeah.
I seen you put a post on just recently. I think you had gone out at the weekend with loads of fellow practitioners, like people that do aesthetics, all in the same area, and you put on it like...
It's 12 of us.
Tell me about that post.
Oh, well, so there's basically a group of us. So my friend Jodie, she did a networking event. We all went out to Barcelona. I went on my own. I had the best fucking time of my life. And this is advice to people who are starting out. Even if you're an introvert, you have to pretend to be an extrovert. You have to get yourself involved, get yourself out there. So I went on a networking event. I just clicked with this group of girls, the So Solid crew, I called them, from Derby. And they're all fabulous. I just went straight over. I was like, hello, my name's Sophia. So they were like, yeah, we know who you are. And I was like, oh, hello, nice to meet you. We just sat talking and it just clicked. So just this weekend gone on Saturday, 12 of us went out. There was a few of us missing for whatever reason, but I love them all. And we all do the same job. I put on the post that there's 12 women doing the exact same job. We all support one another. We all advise one another. Whether you are next door, and in Chester alone, there's got to be, 50 practitioners. I'd reel them off now. I'd give them the light. I always say, put yourself in a room. You want to be friends with somebody who'll speak your name in a room full of opportunity. And if there's a practitioner out there who is better at something than me or more specialised in that area, I'll tell my clients to go to them.
Yeah.
It makes no difference to me. Off you go. I'll never understand it. I know some people who are fabulous at Botox and excel in Botox. I'll send them to them. I know people who are specialised in tear trough. Do you know what I mean? But like,
You're
I don't
a good girl to know,
it.
Sophia.
Well, I think there's room for everyone. And I think if you're going to keep yourself to yourself and in that little... And I put in it, that's what you asked. I said, people say the aesthetics industry is bitchy. Said no hype girl ever.
Ever. Yeah.
Because, but you know what it is. If they want to do that, then that's fine. It will never dull my shine. I've just got no time for it. But if you are new to it, then put yourself around people who are willing to uplift you and support you, and network with like-minded people, which it is rare to find, but they are out there. And surround yourself with people that will uplift you basically and support you. So doing it with other practitioners, because they know what you're going through. They know about work-life balance. They know about managing clients' expectations with fillers and Botox. So getting yourself on these networking or retreats. There's so many amazing retreats out there now. I said they all need a crash now to go, because I can't go up to all of these with all the bloody 4 kids. But yeah, definitely networking is a big thing.
I think your whole ethos on collaboration over competition comes from a real place of abundance as well.
Yes, I'm into all of
Are you
that.
really into... Because I can feel that, because your abundance on wishing everyone the best and wishing everyone like success.
Airy fairy, love all that.
It really opens up your abundance for you, because like you say, what you give out, you get.
Yeah, it comes
You can't be jealous and envious and competitive and then expect people to look up to you and respect you, and like it just as a person in general. So
yeah, well, I'm many things, but one thing somebody can never say is she's not supportive, or she doesn't wish you well, or she's a cunt. You can't say that about me, because I'm not. And if you've heard that, that's secondhand.
Watch who it's coming from.
And you know what we were just talking about before we went on, Ashley and Lauren, who we love from Nip Tuck. I'm like so far up their ass, I don't even care. I'm obsessed with them. But they always say on the pod, what Sally says about Susan says more about Sally than it does of Susan. So mindful. If somebody's coming to you talking shit, unless it's come from my mouth.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because what do they say? There's the truth, there's their version, your version, and then there's the truth in the middle.
Truth, yeah.
So I think just live and let live. Let everyone, do you know what I mean? Just support, because your world will change when you openly and genuinely, because you can't fake that. You can't fake, I support you. And fucking
exhausting,
don't. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Or before now, I'd message someone, like, oh my God, I love your scrubs. Where are they from? Oh, I love that cadaver head like you've got there. Like, where's it from? Oh yeah, I'll send you the link later. They'll never send you the link.
Or, they don't sell it anymore.
Rude.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Somebody bought it. Just send them the link.
But then they'll be the ones to say, oh, where did you get that from? And
just send them the link, Queen. You'll be fine.
You've got to practice that abundance.
Your clients will come to you, and more will come to you because you're giving it out. I truly believe that, because I know you're all about that.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, we're in this. We should help. There's enough for everyone. It's such an abundant universe. It's wild to think otherwise. So,
but
I do get it. I think when you've grown up with a mindset of, some people's parents might have been like, oh, well, if they have that, or the rich people have got all what we need. And I do get that we can be conditioned that way. But as we step into women and adulthood and womanhood, and we start to practice that kindness and that openness, you get proof that it does exist. And I get it. I get why some people are like that.
I understand it, and I do. And I, unfortunately, I'm not claiming to be bloody Jesus sat here, Christ or Mother Mary. But honestly, when you start, even if it's commenting on another practitioner's post, if it's liking another practitioner's post, if it's, giving them a compliment on their work, or reaching out, or it just does so much, and it's so attractive.
It is so attractive. It's sexy.
So sexy. That is powerful shit, that is.
Fucking love you.
I remember on first date with Phil, my husband, we went to Nando's, as you do. plenty of fish,
Well,
Nando's.
this was 10 years ago, right? So Nando's 10 years ago was a bit more elite than it is now. So
I don't know.
didn't do
Chicken
too
and
bad.
chips. Went to Nando's, and I'll never forget, the waitress came over and she was fucking stunning. So I was like, oh my God. I was like, you are absolutely gorgeous. I was like, your makeup and everything. Like, I was like, you look so pretty. Anyway, she walked off and Phil was just sat staring at me like this. He's like, that's so fucking sexy. I was like, what, like a lesbian way? And he was like, well, no. He's like, but
Maybe, but
you complimenting another woman. He goes, no other woman has sat in front of me and openly complimented. I was like, well, isn't that just like what you do? And he was like, no. He's like, that shit's so attractive. It shows that you're secure, you're willing. And like, I'm like that. If me and Phil are walking down the street and there's a fit bird, I'm like, oh my God, isn't she gorgeous?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
yeah, but you're not doing it from a jealous perspective.
No.
Because would you say you're a secure person then?
I mean, I'm slightly psychotic jealous.
Yeah.
I'd be
Balance.
lying. Balance. But yeah, no, I'm a secure person.
Yeah. I
I'm
think as well,
definitely secure.
Yeah, no, I love that. You said earlier on about people, if they come into the industry, it's a good idea to like get community and comment with other people.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on forums?
Well, I don't belong to one.
Okay.
I think it's very easy to get caught up in other people's noises or maybe other people's insecurities. I think there's like, I'm in one, which is a good one. It's like aesthetic support for like non-medics.
yeah.
And I think they're good.
Okay.
But again, I try not to, because again, I've heard my name in like one or two of them in a bad light that's just saying that it wasn't even me. They put a picture of it. It wasn't even me. It was somebody else.
Rude.
Sophia. Rude. Or, like this is, I don't know. It's just a load of shit. I don't involve myself. I think it's easy to just get, listening to other people's, and the old saying goes, just focus on yourself. If you've got a close circle of friends within the industry that you can rely on, that you trust, then that's different.
Mm-hmm.
Or you should be, if you're training with somebody, you should be able to message your trainer if it's a good training provider, and they'll be like, look, what do I do about this? I think some of the forums are fabulous.
Yeah.
It's just I choose not to go on them.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of them. I could be in a room full of 100 people and 99 people could say, oh, you look lovely. One could say, you look like dog shit. And I've day ruined.
Focused on the one. Yeah.
Day ruined.
It's
Oh my
easily
God,
done,
take me
though.
home.
Yeah. And people are wild on the internet. They're so fucking brave.
People are just
The
rude.
things, the comments,
It's so
like
rude.
I get some shit on TikTok. I love it
Oh
now.
God, it's so much.
Oh.
Don't come for me, please.
Please leave me alone. I'm emotional.
I get all the time, you look like a middleweight Adele. I'm like, what's a middleweight?
What's a middleweight?
Well, she was not fat, she wasn't thin.
Oh.
I'll take it. I'll take Adele all day long.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I get called a tranny, so it's not even that good.
Yeah, but that's a compliment,
Well,
queen.
whatever,
That's a compliment
It
for
is
me.
what it is.
Hello.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Oh, if you follow me, you know I'm the biggest
very true,
LGBTQIA ally. Oh my God. I went to my friend James. He took me to LA to DragCon. If you haven't gone, you need to go.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, because I'm obsessed with drag queens. I'm obsessed. Took me and we went out like this night and all these queens coming up to me, oh my God, are you trans? I was like, no, but you've made my fucking life. Thank you. Biggest compliment on earth.
How funny. I've never seen it from that perspective, Sophie.
That's
Do you
a
know
compliment.
why?
These queens are
Do you know why? Because
beautiful.
I've always been caught up about my voice, so I always thought it was a direct insult on my voice.
I'd take that to the bank all day long.
I'm taking that.
These queens are stunning.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I know. Oh, I know, like
For me,
perfection.
that's why I'm obsessed as well. People say, we're obsessed with drag queens. Because it's the glamour.
It's
I
the
love that they don't
chisel,
take
it's the-
themselves so
it's-
serious. I love that they love themselves and they couldn't give a fuck what
Yeah.
anyone else thought about that. I mean, everyone should be a little bit more like that.
Yeah.
Life's so serious.
You're so
like,
fucking right.
yeah, so you call me a tramp.
Okay,
Let's go.
let's go.
Thank you.
baby. Okay,
and I love
amazing.
them, and that's made me so proud. Thank you.
Oh, I love that.
So take that all day.
Okay, cool. I'll have that one. Thanks. More of that, please. More
More of that, please.
I want to know, what are your top 3 industry icks? Top 3.
Okay, well, I give myself the ick, if I'm
Really?
honest. Oh,
Why?
so I said to my friends, I was like, if you see me dancing around in front of TikTok and singing and dancing and all that, I said, fucking kill me. I'm dancing around like a dickhead. I'm there like, ooh, I kind of watch it, don't
It
even
works
show
though,
at
don't
me.
it?
Yeah, I mean, you get more followers, but then you get hate on it. Like,
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
oh, fucking hell, whatever, shut up. If you've got nothing nice to say, keep to yourself, love. But yeah, no, so I give myself the ick. So dancing around on all these things, I'm like, I'm a practitioner, I'm not a social media expert or a TikToker, but if you can't beat them, join them. Let's go.
Definitely.
And it's just taking the piss at myself, not taking it too seriously,
Yeah.
which I can do. I can take it. I can take the piss, but I can also take it. So whatever. That's definitely one. Second is what you've already touched on, which is it gives me the ick when some of these academies do that, like pyramid. Oh, you can earn £10,000 in your first month. I think it can give people a false expectation. Do you know what I
It's
mean?
not ethical selling, is it?
Well, no, I think it's, it's just false advertising. And thirdly, again, this might be a little bit of, what do they call it, where they say it's a conflict of interest. But I
Yeah.
don't like it when, when somebody does a set of lips and they wrap them up in the silk like a present. Have you seen it?
No.
So it's just the lips on show and they wrap like the silk
Oh,
around
like
the face.
they cover the whole client's
It's like a
face.
silk cloth.
Yeah, and they just see
It's
the
like
lips.
a present from Harrods.
Yeah.
It's just the lips.
Don't like
Well, I
that.
think it's unhygienic because they probably put the same bit of silk around every client.
Yeah.
It just gives me the ick of it. I'm like, I'd be mortified if they started wrapping me up
Later,
like a
just-
mummy and just have like, do you want my face in, babes? Just the lips, like a glory hole on the bed.
That is. Oh, I love that. So I want to go into a little bit as well about we've still got quite a bit to cover if you don't mind. You
don't
decided
mind.
to start training, didn't you? So now you train in all the aesthetic treatments that you offer. What was it that made you want to start training other people?
Oh, well, I don't train. I only do masterclasses.
Masterclasses, okay.
Yeah.
So So this is for already qualified.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So again, this is just my personal opinion.
Yep.
So I personally, I've got, like I said, I've got a lot on, being a mum, boring, but I've talked about it all the time. But for me, I don't think I could handle the pressure of training people from
scratch, yeah. Not got time for it. I get that.
No. Number
you want
one-
the people to come to you that are
Yeah.
halfway there or there,
they're
that you
there.
can
They're there.
tweak and
I think I just, for me, I couldn't deal with training people from scratch that, number one, I didn't think was suitable. So they were in it for the wrong reasons, like they're trying to make a bit of money to go to Dubai, see you later.
Yeah.
No, this is a livelihood. This is something you need to be super passionate about. Number two, the biggest thing, you can train anybody. Anybody can train, quite literally, as we know that now. One thing that cannot be bought, one thing that cannot be trained, one thing that cannot be sold is the aesthetic eye. I've said it for years. You can do it, but have you got the eye for it? Have you got that passion? Have you got the empathy for it for your clients? Can you manage their expectation? Some things cannot be trained, no matter what.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. That's why I don't personally go into training. But I like to do masterclasses because they already come to me with all the skill. They've got their own insurance. They know what they're doing. They might come to me for a little bit of business advice, which I can give. So on a masterclass, I'll give a bit of business advice. I'll go through certain things, social media. And then they come to me. They already know how to do noses. They're coming to me to learn how to do the pixie tip lift or whatever. So that's the reason. So I do like doing that. But as well, obviously they can message you and they leave like, oh, Sophia, I did this. What do you think? Or da-da-da-da-da. But even that, again, I'm very, very honest. Like I talk to fellow practitioners, I find masterclass is quite difficult at the minute because it's finding the models, because sometimes it'll get to the morning, they'll cancel, or the day before, you're at the point where you're offering models to come in for free. That's a red flag.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's a red flag. Come in to get your lips done for free. Red flag.
Yeah.
No. You can't even give the stuff away. Do you know what I mean? And I think, I really do feel for training providers.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't
And
it?
providers of masterclasses trying to get the models in, because then it only makes you look unprofessional, like I said, because these girls and these men that are coming in to train, they've spent, they took time off work, allocated childcare, and I feel horrendous. I mean, that's very, 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 very rare that happens. I do sometimes 1 or 2 masterclasses a week, and they're incredible, and you're inundated with models.
Yeah.
But sometimes
It
it's
just
just
don't
a
go your way,
one-off.
does
It's
it?
just one
Yeah,
of
it
them.
just doesn't go
and
your
I feel
way.
horrendous, and I will obviously give a full refund, and we'll do everything we can to avoid that. But again, I know I'm talking openly and honestly, which I always do.
Yeah, of course. And like you said, when you was doing your training with Cosmetic Couture, you had to do 40 odd sets of whatever
back
it was.
then. I mean, I don't know what they do
Yeah.
now, but back then,
I know people that have done aesthetic training days or weeks or whatever, and they've come away, they've done 2 sets of lips.
I
and they're
know people
qualified.
that have done dummies, like we just said.
just dummies. And
Yeah,
it's
medic
like,
and non-medic have gone in,
Yeah.
injected a dummy, and then they're fully qualified in temple filler or rhinoplasty filler. Or they've come to me. I've had, medics and non-medics come to me and say, oh, what would I mix again for an occlusion? What's my ratio?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And again, I think if you don't know, then go on a special course, go extra courses.
With your masterclasses, are they 1-to-1? Do you do 2-to-1? How
I
do
only
they
ever
work?
do normally it's two to me.
Yep.
Maximum is 3.
Okay.
Because, you know, I've been on masterclasses. I've gone on masterclasses out in Poland to do the Russian lips, and there's 10 of you around a bed. You inject half a lip and you're done. For me, you know, I like to physically do it. Do you know what I mean? To see it, to do it. A lot of girls just come on a masterclass, and men come on masterclasses just to get business advice.
Yeah.
Going for a chat.
Yeah, it's coming to pick your brains. But that's cool, though, you know, if they want to pay you to come and pick your brains, that's cool. Like, you share, I mean, you'd probably just share it anyway, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would share it anyway, yes.
Just voice note.
Literally just give me a voice note, babes. But nothing like they come in, or I'm one of them, though. Some people come in, some really advanced practitioners, they'll just come in, they'll watch me inject a nose, bang, they've got it.
Yeah,
And
that's them that have got the
lovely.
eye.
Don't need all the frills and all the foreplay, let's say.
Yeah.
Just want to... Just fucking you dry, straight in. Let's see how you do it.
Straight in, straight out.
Got that, picked it up, fabulous, off you go.
Yeah.
And then they go and do masterclasses and and again, I'm not one of them. I know some people see their arse if they go on a masterclass, they go on a masterclass with them, which they've learnt off somebody else anyway.
Yeah.
And then, oh my God, no, you're not allowed to show it. Well, no. Well, I learnt off somebody else. Do you know what I mean? I did a masterclass with this girl in London. She's incredible. She taught me. And then I'm obviously going to, you know, that's organic. That's how it is. Yeah.
No, yeah, I totally get that. Some people are a bit
go
like...
and make some money off it and go and make that money back. Go and train everyone. Do you know what I mean? As long as you're doing it ethically and safely and showing them the correct way and touching on complications and stuff like that. And that's at the 4.4 foremost. Everything that we do is the safety aspect.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Okay, I love that. Sophie, can we talk a bit about Herstory?
Yes.
Where did it come from? What is it? Like, why?
Okay, so Herstory, well, it actually stems from RuPaul, my idol, the drag queen RuPaul. On his Drag Race show, he always says the slogan's Herstory, and the rest is Herstory. So it's all about her story, not his story. It's about female, women, feminine energy, empowerment. It's all about Herstory. So, and the rest is Herstory. So creating that empowerment for women and men, of course, in the industry.
And these are in-person events, aren't they?
Yes, so it's an in-person event. It was my first one last year. We had around...
Amazing.
Well, you're going to be at this one, hopefully. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Nudge, nudge. Spoiler.
So there was 300 people last year. We aim to have 500 this year.
Smash it.
I'm very much extra in all I do. I love the glitz, I love the glam, I love the camp, I love the drama. So I worked very closely with Lauren and the girls from Chic PR. I went to them, and she's very much a dreamer like me. I went in, and if you've ever been to the Titanic in Liverpool, it's a lovely room, but it's just floor to ceiling black and one wall window. I was like, I am fucking draping every single wall inside. Wow. Like 20-foot walls. I drape the entire room. Like, I'm going for it if I'm going for it. But it's an in-person event. It's all about community and collaboration over competition and clout. So I had about 50 girls who were coming on their own, practitioners. It's medic, non-medic. We all get together, we all support, and it's basically celebrating your own success. But on top of that, obviously it's all the glamour and it's stunning, and you come in and it's, have the meal and whatever. But last year we had some amazing speakers. It was the first of its kind. It came about because I was
nothing
never
else like it.
Never invited. I'm not allowed to any other conference because I'm non-medic.
Oh, but
so I was like,
we made it.
I'm going to do my own.
Make that conference.
If I can't come to yours,
of course,
I'll do my own. So it's for medic, non-medic. We all come together. There was 300 people. I had some amazing guest speakers. So we had a Russian lip demo on stage.
Wow.
We had a full facial masterclass, contouring masterclass on stage. So if you're coming in, it's not just, okay, here's your ticket, you just come in. You get so much for it, because these masterclasses alone, I mean, we had Craft there, her masterclass alone is £2,500. The masterclass for Paulina, I think, is anywhere from £1,000 to £2,000. She's all the tips. So we've got some incredible guest speakers this year. We've got Injector Bunny coming over from, I mean, every practitioner on this planet has probably shared one of Injector Bunny's memes. She's coming over from America.
Wow.
So she's never been over here to do one in that capacity before. before. So she's like obviously doing the Botox, a full demo. We've got another one, Dr. Botox, and there's a few surprises along the way. I've got some incredible speakers. It's all about mindfulness, manifestation. Last year I had a speaker about mindfulness and manifestation within work. And then it's like there's so much going on. And then like so many photo opportunities as well. It's all in the networking. So if you are coming, you want to come on your own, we create a WhatsApp group and we sit you all together. So you become friends for life. And it's in the Titanic, Liverpool. It's on May the 2nd next year. 2025. So another thing, people say, oh, like my friends who aren't in the industry will go, how much is it a ticket?
Get to that. Oh, no, not the how much. It was, can they come? If somebody isn't an aesthetics practitioner, so let's say someone's listening to this and they do semi-permanent makeup. Yeah. Can they come?
Oh, they can come.
Brow lashes?
Brows, yeah, they can come.
So anyone in the industry can come.
Yeah, I mean, the talks on stage will be targeted
predominantly aesthetics,
injections.
But they'll get stuff from the day.
They will get so much for it, yeah. But so my friends who aren't into aesthetics, they go, how much is it a ticket? I'll go 500, quid for a day ticket. I'm like,
you don't understand.
I'm like a ticket to go and see Injector Bunny out in America. Yeah, we're talking thousands. Yeah, and thousands
£500 is an investment. It's not, and it's also a business expense.
And then, not forgetting, let's just go on to the nighttime. So last year I had Wes Nelson.
Oh my God.
We had a tequila rose wall. You literally rang a bell, and it's like party vibes. Like we bring the vibes, and I'm into dancehall, like music. It was an absolute vibe. And I was pregnant at the time. I didn't get until 5 because I was in bloody G Bar in Liverpool and Canal Street. Canal Street's in Manchester. I was in the gay bar in Liverpool. Took Phil there. We had a lovely time. So yeah, I was at party till 5 and I was pregnant. So this year, just warning, I'm not pregnant. So I'll be going for it. So yes, it's an absolute vibe. So this year, at night time alone, I can't even, honestly. So what you do is you come to the day, it's a full day conference, sit down meal, and then we have a little break, 2 hours, get glam. I mean, they came glam last year. You're in a room with 300 practitioners. They're going to bring the glam.
Of course they are.
So, and then nighttime, you have a 2-hour break and then party time. And what I've got planned this year at nighttime is going to go off.
Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible.
This is going to sell out, isn't it? So when are you going to...
hopefully.
Do you know?
Manifesting it.
Yeah, definitely will. When are you going to release your tickets? Do you got any idea on that yet?
Tickets are on sale.
Now?
Yeah, they're on sale now.
You can get them, girls.
Yeah, they're on the link in my bio on Instagram. I feel like one of them celebs. You're like, got my new book out.
We'll tag everything below them.
Yeah, but you can get a ticket. You can also Klarna your ticket. Come on, Queens. It's Christmas. Times are hard.
Treat yourself.
Yeah, but
spread those payments. But it's an investment, isn't it?
And not just that, it's an experience. Yeah. Like it's a whole day and it's about networking, celebrating your success. You will leave there like feeling so happy and confident and supported. Mm-hmm. There's none of that bitchy energy. Yeah. If you're a bitch, you're not invited.
Yeah, you're not even invited.
You're not invited. Yeah. No, there's none of that. Like it's just absolute vibes.
And one final question that I wanted to ask you: what's your reason why? Like what is Sophia's reason why all of this?
I think it's the obvious, isn't it? The generational wealth for my children. Yeah. Not to get all morbid, but
no.
Oh my God forbid if
I'm gonna die.
If anything happened to me tomorrow, what do I leave for my children, apart from all their beautiful memories of me as a lovely mum, which I pride myself on, because I know I'm that, and nobody can take that from me. Do you know what I mean? Like, what would I leave them? Like, I would love to leave them like something that they can rely on, or something where they never have to worry. Like, I'm on about creating generational wealth for them. And also, I knew from a young age, I didn't just want to be just basic. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? I am an extrovert. Yeah. I am camp. I love all of that. Like, I love people. I'm a confident person. I'm a happy person. I'd like to say I bring joy into people's lives. And that's why I'm so passionate about the supporting others, because if you are a cunt, unfortunately, that will only get you so far. Yeah. Just be supportive, and it opens so many doors. Like, I wouldn't have Herstory if I was one of them, like, greedy, obsessed people that was all about me and didn't support others. Like, the celebration of people that Herstory brings, it's incredible. You leave so empowered. I was on stage like crying, like I was so emotional. I looked around the room and I was like, oh my God, because I went off nothing. I was like, I just basically went online. I was like, right, it's first of its kind. I was like, it's this amount for a ticket. Please come. Mm-hmm. And they did. I couldn't believe it. I looked around the room and I was like, You're like choked with breath, like you just did that event, like, you know, and you like look around the room, there's 300 people sat there just because you told them to go and get a ticket.
Wild, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But my reason is definitely for my family. It's
Yeah.
definitely for my children. And to create, I think, awareness to the industry that, you know, anyone can do it. If you put your mind to it, if you go above and beyond, make sure that you are the best at what you can do. Like I'm doing my level 7 now and it is difficult. I'm doing it so I've got it, because at the minute I'm only level 5 and I say only. There's a qualification out there that's above me, and I want to make sure if I can beat level 7, if I was a nurse, I would make sure I was a prescribing nurse.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? I would
You want
always
to go
try and
above and
better
beyond,
myself. Yeah. There's nothing to say that I wouldn't maybe do my nursing in the future. To say that I've got it. You know, if I'm one of them, I'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah, you'll do what it takes. That's so
I'll do whatever
clear.
it takes.
Yeah.
Right now I'm doing my level 7. That's what it's taking. I'm going to do it. And then, you know, if it came, right, well, in 5 years, you're going to have to, okay, I'll do it. I'll sacrifice. I'll do it. I'll do anything it takes. I mean, I'd love to be a midwife. That would be my dream job if I didn't do this.
I was going to say, could you ever see yourself not doing aesthetics anymore? Like in 10, 20 years from now, what would you see yourself doing?
20 kids. 20 kids and on a farm. But like, God, no, Christ. No, I'd like to say I've got pictures of me as a 3-year-old caked in makeup. You know, I was, you know, doing everyone's makeup, nails. Like, this is me.
This is your life.
Yeah, this is me. Like, whether I own clinics or whether I retire gracefully in 5 years and go back on the makeup counters like I used to. I mean, you know, I'm just, as long as my children are happy and I've got a home for them. Do you know what I mean? As long as I own my own home and I've got security in that and I don't have to worry about, you know, oh my God, where's money coming from if the washing machine breaks? Like, everybody's version of success is different.
Yeah, I love that.
Everybody's version of safety is different. And my safety is at home with my children, and I don't have to worry about them ever needing anything. That's my version of happiness. And that's where I see myself in 20 years, just secure, still happily married, 20 kids. Keep saying quid.
Maybe have
It's this
grandkids by then.
Well, I've got 2 step-grandbabies.
Oh, wow.
My gorgeous stepdaughter, Tanea, she's got 2 daughters.
Oh, wow.
So I'm glammy. I'm
You're
not
glamour,
granny. But
yeah.
Phil's pops. He didn't want to be granddad.
Pops, yeah, that's cute.
So yeah, I'm glammy.
Yeah.
Definitely not granny.
So your life is all about kids, like your personal life. You love children, you love being around children. And family.
I would genuinely go on to have more children, but work, and I'd have to get a bigger house.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to happen, is it?
I've got one more in the uterus somewhere in the wings.
What's 5 when you've got 4? What's 6 when you've got 5?
Oh, no, I do find 4 okay, you know. I don't want to be one of them.
My mum had 4, I'm one of 4.
If you can have 3.
Yeah, that's what she said. But
If
she
you
said
can do 3.
it gets hard work when you fill a car.
Well, that's to get a bigger car.
7, yeah, I don't think
Christ.
7-seaters were a thing like 30 odd years ago.
They always used to have a free-for-all in the boot, didn't
yeah,
they?
it was just like, which one's going in the boot today? It did. Sophia, you've been such an incredible guest, and I really appreciate you taking the time out. I know that this podcast episode genuinely would have helped so many people.
I hope so.
Oh, I can absolutely guarantee it.
And if you don't support people, start supporting people.
Yeah,
it will
I
open
think
doors.
That's a huge message of this. And like you say, start small. Comment on someone's post saying you're smashing it, Queen. You know, share the love and receive the love.
Absolutely.
But you can't
Amen.
receive something that you're not sharing. And it's, you know, it's okay if that's what these people are doing. It's okay. You're not broken, but change it.
Change it immediately.
And get to Herstory.
Yes, get to Herstory.
All the links, everything that you need to know are in the show notes.
And we might see Alicia there in some capacity.
Imagine. Oh, I'll be bringing it. Thank you so much for the episode. It's been amazing.
Thank you, darling.